Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and we have some breaking news to get to surrounding Kemba Walker. The New York Knicks and Kemba Walker have agreed for Walker to sit out for the remainder of the 2022 NBA season. This isn't the first time that Walker has been taken out of the starting rotation and the rotation in general. Back in November, Tom Thibodeau removed him out of the starting five and said, look, hey, he's a starting point guard. He shouldn't be coming off the bench. But Adrian Wojnarowski, he broke the news today that Walker will be out for the rest of the season. He said this, ESPN sources, the New York Knicks and guard Kemba Walker have agreed that the four-time All-Star will be sidelined for the remainder of the team's season. He then followed that up with this tweet where he said Walker will be on an expiring contract this summer, and that'll offer an opportunity for the Knicks and his agent, Jeff Schwartz of XL Sports, to work on trade scenarios in the offseason. I thought there would be moves to be made once he didn't get traded at the NBA trade deadline. There were rumors coming out that the Knicks were looking to move off of him. Unfortunately for Walker and the Knicks, they weren't able to do that. So now Walker, he will be watching from the sideline in a suit and tie for the rest of the NBA season. Leon Rose, he put out a statement minutes after the Knicks announced that Walker will be out of the team's rotation for the remainder of the year, and he said this, we fully support Kemba's decision to shut it down. That sounds like it came from Kemba more so from the Knicks, but then he went on to say for the remainder of the season and to use this time to prepare for next season. His long-term success on the court remains our priority. And I think that's interesting because it sounds like Leon Rose could see Kemba Walker being back for the New York Knicks next season. Although I don't think that's going to happen. Mark Berman reported that him and the Knicks were working towards a buyout. It didn't come to that. Now it comes to this. Walker will be out for the remainder of the season. So I want to get you guys all involved early on in the show. We or at least try to be one of the most interactive YouTube channels here out on Chat Sports. And so I want to get your thoughts and concerns in the comment section. Let me know. When you got the Woj bomb or however you found out, if you're finding out about it by this video, let me know. What is your one-word reaction to the Knicks and Kemba Walker agreeing for Walker to sit out for the rest of the year? Get down in the comment section and let me know. My one-word reaction is finally. I didn't want to say I knew this was going to happen, but I knew something was going to happen. Tom Thibodeau, he had some pretty telling remarks following the last game before the Knicks All-Star break happened. We'll get to those in a quick second, but you knew changes were coming following the All-Star break. The Knicks, they were shopping their veterans at the NBA trade deadline. They were looking to trade Kemba Walker, Alec Burks, Nerlens Noel. They were looking to move off of those guys so the young guns could come in and play in a lost season. The Knicks last year, they set the expectation or the bar for expectations really high coming into this year. They added guys like Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier. It did not work out, and you kind of knew something was going to happen once the Knicks blew that 28-point lead against the Nets, and Tom Thibodeau said this before the All-Star break happened. He said, everything's on the table now. It has to be, and it's got to be merit-based. I'm not going to give minutes just to give minutes, so that's not happening. You earn what you get. If a guy is playing good, he plays. If the team is functioning well when he's on the floor, he should play. That's the most important thing. The team has to come first for everyone. This can't be about what's best for any one individual if that's what's best for the group. And with him saying that and Kemba Walker now being out of the rotation, maybe he was talking about Kemba Walker. Because in the last 16 games, Kemba Walker has been a shell of himself. But so far during the 2021 and 2022 NBA season, his stats as a whole, they're not great. They're not bad. They're just about 12 points per game, just under 4 assists per night, shooting a low field goal percentage of 40.3. The three-point percentage is pretty high, 36.7. That's a solid percentage, but wait till you see the numbers we show of the last 16 games where Kemba really started to fall off production-wise. At the end of the day, Walker is a shell of himself, and it sucks because I loved him coming out of UConn. I loved him with the Charlotte Hornets. This is a player that I always wished would come to the New York Knicks. I wanted to see that step back active in Madison Square Garden like he did back at UConn with the game winner. But at the end of the day, with the arthritic knees and all of the injuries that have piled up through Kemba Walker's career, it has slowed him down, and his career kind of fell off a cliff quicker than I know he expected, and I know I expected as well. I thought it was a smart risk that the Knicks took by signing Walker to that 2 years, $17 million deal. But at the end of the day, just like in life, some things don't work out. And this Kemba Walker signing, it didn't work out for the Knicks. And sadly, it didn't work out for Kemba Walker as well. But this is why you subscribe, fellas. This is the second video today here on New York Knicks Now. We put one out earlier about Zion Williamson and all the rumors that are coming out around him. This is the thumbnail, so if you see it on the channel, click it, watch it, enjoy it. We talk about what J.J. Redick had to say about Zion Williamson on First Take just yesterday, and we also touched on a Howard Beck piece where he said that Donovan Mitchell, Zion Williamson, and Damian Lillard could be the next NBA superstars to force their way out of their current situation. So if this is your first time here watching New York Knicks Now, let me break it down to you. We are a Knicks news and rumors channel. When breaking news happens, we do a video. When rumors come out, we make a video. We are your one-stop shop for everything surrounding the New York Knicks. So if you love the Knicks and you're looking for daily free content, we're your guys. So go down right now and hit that big red button. We talked about it just a couple of seconds ago, but in the last 16 games, not just Kemba Walker, but Alec Burks and Emmanuel Quickley have been really bad. Kemba Walker in the last 16 games is averaging 8 points per game while shooting 37% from the floor. And remember that 37% three-point percentage he has as a season's total? Not in the last 16 games, just a 27% clip from three. And Alec Burks, he's been bad. Emmanuel Quickley's have been bad. The Knicks point guards in general have been terrible this season. That's been the Achilles heel of the Knicks all year long. Kemba Walker, he had some really good games. He's played good against the Celtics. The first couple games this season, he played really well. He had some flash games. The game he came back after Thibodeau removed him from the rotation in November, he dropped a 40 ball. I really like Kemba Walker, but him, Alec Burks, Emmanuel Quickley, they have been bad. The only bright spot has really been Derrick Rose, and he has been out for the past 2 months because of an ankle injury. He's going to be back, so I want you to know, who do you got? Who do you want the Knicks to start at point guard for the remainder of the season? Are they going to go back to Alec Burks, who was put as a starter once Kemba Walker first was removed out of the rotation? Will it be Emmanuel Quickley? He's had some spot starts as point guard. Will they have Derrick Rose coming off of that ankle injury be back the starter? Get in the comments and let me know. Who do you want to start at point guard for the Knicks for the remainder of the year? Anybody. Please anybody but Alec Burks. At this point, the Knicks get nothing now and out of the future by starting Alec Burks. He's not a point guard. He's a second or third guard off of the bench type of guy. Your seventh or eighth man in the rotation. Let him come in and just be a scorer. That's what he is. It didn't work out when Tom Thibodeau thrusted him into the starting lineup to be a point guard. Could maybe it be Derrick Rose, who's coming off of ankle surgery? He's missed the past 2 years. Last year, Tom Thibodeau pushed for the Knicks to trade for Derrick Rose. And once he became a New York Knick for the second time, it really turned around the Knicks season. And before he got hurt, he was playing really good this year, averaging 12 points per game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 44% from the field, and he has really become a solid three-point shooter. He was shooting, let me get the number real quick. He's shooting 40% from three this season from deep. And for Derrick Rose, that is a solid percentage. Rose elevated the Knicks last year when he showed up to Madison Square Garden. He was the driving force behind the Knicks having that great second half of the season that earned them the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. Could he be the savior this year as well? I'm not going to put all my eggs in that basket of thinking Derrick Rose is going to be the guy to get the Knicks back into the playoffs. But at the end of the day, I think he may be the best option to be the Knicks starting point guard for the remainder of the year. But is it time? Is it Derrick Rose time once again in Madison Square Garden? Should Derrick Rose start the rest of the season? If you think so, if you love D Rose, if you think the Knicks are best when Derrick Rose is on the court and he should be a starter, go down in the comments and type Y for yes. Or if you're like, nah, no way, that's a lot asking of a 33-year-old point guard who's coming off of ankle surgery, go down in the comments and type N for no. Whether or not he's the starter, or the first point guard off the bench, or the second point guard off the bench, can Deuce Miles McBride please get some minutes? It's time for Tom Thibodeau to unleash Deuce McBride. I know it's the G League, so you're going to roll your eyes when you see these stats. But in his time with the Westchester Knicks, which is only 8 games, he has been an absolute superstar, averaging 28 points per night, over 6 rebounds, and almost 10 assists per game while shooting a blazing 46.5% from deep. And you're like, Marshall, I'm not taking these G League stats to heart. That's easy basketball. I'd go out there and hoop with those cats. 1, you couldn't. And 2, what about when he started against the Houston Rockets back in December? I understand he started some other games and it didn't go out so well, but this was the only game this year where he played more than 30 minutes in a game, and he showed out. 15 points, 9 assists, 4 steals, and he shot above 50% 6% from the floor. I'm not expecting him to average the 28 points per game that he did in the G League if he started to play for the Knicks. But could he give you 10 points a night, five assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals? Miles McBride, at the very least, if he's unable to be a scorer, would up the defensive intensity. He has a bulldog mentality when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. And I just feel like Tom Thibodeau, of anybody, should be able to appreciate that. So maybe he's not going to be, the next Chris Paul and average 10 assists per game, but he will absolutely bring a different type of life and energy into this Knicks defense. At the end of the day, they're going to have to choose a new starting point guard. Maybe it's Deuce, maybe it's Derek, but please, please don't be Alec Burks. But also, guys, hit me up on Twitter. Give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_. I'm tweeting about the Knicks all day, every day. So hit me up. Give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_.